Hey, welcome into another Mystery Fifth Hour, as always presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Rockstars in the little box. That is Little T, Taylor Corn, Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour. Please give us a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe and set your alerts so you know when we're live, and follow us on all social media. Next Round Live is where we're on social media. Little T takes care of all of that. If you need a car, van, or truck, rent from McCurry. McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from. Trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. Easy in, easy out, easy to rent. Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, and Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa is where you find them. 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com. We come up with different topics for this. I thought of this one today because I knew that Little T, as soon as she has finished taping this, we tape these on Fridays primarily. As soon as you are finished taping this, you are going where?
I'm going home to try and finish packing.
I thought you told me you had already finished packing.
So my issue is that I can't eliminate anything. Okay. I'm going to be gone for a long time, so I need a lot of clothes.
Right.
I'm trying to leave room in my bag to shop. And I have exceeded the capacity of what my suitcase can handle.
By the way, she's going to Tupelo.
Tupelo, Mississippi. No, you're packing bags to go where for a long time?
I'm going to London and Ireland.
London and Ireland.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I was supposed to go last year, and there were some circumstances ended up not going.
Yes.
But the thing that gave me the most anxiety was packing.
Yeah.
Because I can't even pack for 3 days without overpacking.
And that's a long trip.
Hard.
Yeah.
Well, and the problem, and you've looked at the weather, the problem when you go to like Ireland is it's anywhere from like 40 to 75.
You can get anything. You get all four seasons in Ireland.
That's the thing. During the day, it's warm, and then at night it gets cold. So that's my issue. But I have my clothes gathered. But this morning I went to my sister and her husband's house and picked up a larger suitcase because I don't think that I can fit in mine. So I have my things gathered. I need to see if they'll fit in this other bag. And if not, I need to decide what I'm not bringing. But I'm only bringing 2 pairs of shoes. 3 counting the ones on my feet. Shoes are what take up most space because I pack sneakers.
Yeah.
I pack sneakers, which are not small.
No, they're not.
First time we traveled, we went to, I've told the story before, to L.A. The first time we all did a show together, 2009 Rose Bowl. 7 days. How many pairs of shoes do you think I took?
Probably 7 or...
No.
I took 13.
What?
Oh my God. It had an entire bag dedicated to shoes.
If I was going to Europe, though, it would be different. Like, I would have, 2 pair of walking shoes.
Yeah.
And then maybe a pair to go nice dinner / club.
Yeah, I have nice sneakers for a nice dinner. And then I have my tennis shoes, and I'm bringing 1 pair of sandals. That's all I'm bringing.
I'll tell you one thing I do is... anytime I'm going for a long period of time, a week or more, if there are multiple shoes, I cram as much as I can in those shoes. Socks, underwear, belts, everything I can in those shoes.
I have these little packing cubes.
My wife uses those. It's actually quite helpful.
Yeah, so I'm trying to shove as much. My roommate was trying to help me last night. She was like, just shove everything. And I was like, the issue is I can get this bag zipped, but I need room to bring stuff back.
That's
and she
right.
was like, that's what your dad's bag's for.
Is
and
this
I was
a real
that
thing?
True.
Could you have things sent to your hotel?
Yeah.
And then have them sent home?
Yeah.
Like my
you
clothes
could ship.
from here?
Now, it's international shipping, so I don't know how expensive it is, but I know people that do that sometimes. Like,
I'd rather pay a couple $100 and deal with all the bullshit.
People will FedEx or UPS things to the hotel where they're going, and the box is waiting on them when they get there, and then they'll ship some stuff back rather than pack it.
I'm sure. So we're
And
staying in houses.
It's not a cost saving thing because you're probably going to pay more.
Right. We're staying at houses, so I don't know how that works because we're like
that'd be tough.
Bopping around. So if someone's
The
there,
old bopping around vacation.
yeah. So if someone's there right now and they receive, I don't know. I don't even. Yeah.
I told Little T though, in a perfect world, if you were like next level rich, I would take a carry-on and I would just buy whatever I needed when I was there.
That's the way to go if you're next level rich. Lance is right.
I think if I tried to do that though, my issue would be I would get there and not find clothes that I like.
Do you want me to text Nine Corn and say, hey, look, she's freaking out of her packing.
That's right.
Just
buy her.
let her do a carry-on and then just let her buy whatever she wants.
You do that and see what he says.
The packing cubes, though, do help. I don't know if Nancy does this, but...
she did for the tour. They're like little bags.
They're little bags.
She did for the tour, we had to have my biggest concerns was T-shirts, underwear, and socks because you're performing every night and sweating your ass off. And I was like, and it's for a month. And like maybe every 5th or 6th venue you get access to washing and drying.
Right.
So she had a little thing that had like with tape that said 7 pairs of socks, 6 pairs of
I didn't go
underwear.
that
Like you're going to camp.
Yeah, like, but it was like super organized.
Did she
I'm like,
write your name in the back of your
Here
underwear?
are my performance pants.
No, but those cubes, it compresses everything, so
Yeah.
it's easier to pack. And then when you get where you're going, you can just take the cubes out and put them in the drawer in the hotel or the house.
Oh,
and
that's
operate
right.
out of
I've
those
never
cubes.
seen that. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's actually a pretty good system.
That's what I'm dealing with right
And my
now.
wife is efficient at it, and I let her handle
See,
it.
I'm not. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
need to get better. And
you
I
need
know that
Jennifer
I'm-
to come to the house.
I do. And I know that I'm packing things that I'm not going to touch. I'm going to get there.
I
I'm
know.
going to be like, I
That's
don't know
right.
why I brought that because I'm not going to wear it. But I have this fear.
Why do
This
I have a
irrational
bicycle
fear.
seat?
Right.
But
I'm
when you pack for a trip, see, I do this. Like, I know the trip's coming up. I'm like, okay, that day I'm going to need this. So I take that outfit or whatever, and I lay it on the bed, and then I'm
Yep.
going to need this. And then I go back through, and I'm like, okay, add one of those, just in case. And I always end up with too much. I pack too much.
I do too.
Yeah, there's only 3 things that I don't like about traveling. And the first is when we're out of town, you have to catch up on work.
Yep.
The second is packing. And then the worst, and it's become progressively worse every single month, every single year, and that is air travel.
Oh,
And I've got a couple of stories. that I
You're
know
about
we're
to
gonna
do a
get
lot
to.
of it. So since little T is leaving the country, we're all going to give our worst travel story just to cheer her up here.
Yep.
Lance, you've got 2.
I've got 2.
Well, you start. Have you got one, Rockstar?
Yeah, I got a
I've
short
got,
one.
I've
if we
got
need it.
one. So you could bookend us. You go first and last.
So I'll start with honeymoon. So we went to Negril, Jamaica. My late father, Chuck, paid for a 7-day vacation down to the Sandals Resort. And I've told some of those stories before. But when we flew back, and this was old, was it Northwest Airlines? That was
Oh my
based out of-
gosh, mine
based out of
involves-
Memphis?
Yeah, you can fly out of Memphis, and
They had a hub there at least.
that is weird. Mine involves Northwest Airlines as well.
So we flew from the Grill to Memphis, and then the deal was to go to Memphis back to Birmingham. Well, we get to Memphis, and we've got this massive delay. And we finally leave, and I'm talking hours and hours and hours. We're getting to Birmingham, and they come on, and they're like, we've got a slight problem. We're going to have to divert. We're going to have to go to Atlanta, to Hartsfield, because the landing strip lights have inadvertently been cut. So they couldn't see to land, no lie.
in Birmingham.
In Birmingham, I'm like, oh my God, like we're here.
Yeah.
So we fly another 20, 25 minutes to Atlanta. We land. Well, when we land in Atlanta, they come on the speaker and they're like, our crew, I forgot the name of it. It's not that they've gone, anyway, they had worked too many hours in a day or a week. And so they were like, our crew can't go forward or back to Birmingham. So you guys are going to have to spend the night in Atlanta. And
And Lance is like,
this was like a 14, 15 hour day. And so we met this other girl that was coming to Birmingham. And so we rented a car together. And I remember her and Bethany, she drove us. I slept in the back seat.
I knew this was coming.
And some random girl that we rented a car with, but it was like a 16-hour day. They didn't offer accommodations. I wrote a couple of letters and never even got a voucher back from them.
Wrote
yeah,
like-
give
they're
me
out
a
of
drink
business.
ticket or
That's why they're out of
something.
business.
Wrote
Anyway, I mean, when you're coming back from a long, just imagine that happening on the backside of your trip for
Yeah.
2 weeks. It was awful.
Yeah.
And that was back when I was young and resilient, and it didn't bother me as much as it would absolutely shake me to the core right now.
Mine involves Northwest Airlines too. So we were going on a ski trip to Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And there's an airport in Hayden, Colorado, where you fly into if you're going to Steamboat and a couple of other ski resorts too. It's like kind of the centralized airport.
Small airport, right?
Very small airport. Like you get off the plane, on and off the plane like a hostage. Like they pull the stairs up. And you have to go down the stairs out on the runway. They don't have like the
Like Salisbury.
yeah. You exit the plane like a hostage. So we were flying to Hayden, and it's Northwest Airlines was one of the few airlines that would fly in there, right? So we flew through Minneapolis. We had to fly to Minneapolis and then change over to Northwest Airlines. And so a couple that had been before told us, like, have you ever flown into Hayden? And we're like, no. And they said, well, the thing you need to know about Hayden is it's surrounded by all these 10,000-foot mountains. And they're like, it's a safe airport, but they can't do the normal approach in like you would. They have to, it is a hard landing, and they have to slingshot out. Do you know what I mean by slingshot?
Oof.
Like around?
No. Slingshot is when they rev it, like hit. I mean, this is so elementary, but they hit the brakes and rev the engines and then let it go, so that they build up enough to get up over the mountains. They're like, safe airport. Never been a crash there. at the time.
Unless
But you need to know. So we're prepared for this, okay? So we come into Hayden, and they legitimately slam it down on the runway. Like you could feel it. It's harder than normal, just because they can't come in at the normal. I mean, they just have to drop it in there. We go skiing. We're coming back, and we're sitting in the runway, and I've already geared myself up for this slingshot. Like I'd never felt this before. And they come on, they're like, ladies and gentlemen, we've just looked at the weather going into Minneapolis. It's gonna be a little rough going in there, and we're going to delay our takeoff here, let some of that clear out. So we sit on the runway for about 20 more minutes, and then he comes on. He's like, just as a heads up, the weather hasn't entirely cleared out in Minneapolis. It's still going to be, some bad weather when we land, but we're going to go ahead and take off so you guys aren't delayed anymore. And you can
we're going to roll the dice.
Pretty much. And so then they do the slingshot. So you're sitting there, and you hear them just, and you're not going anywhere, right? And then, buddy, when they hit it, it's, throws you back. I mean, they get after it.
Brown speed.
So anyway, yeah. So we get to Minneapolis, and you can see I've got the window seat, so the weather's getting worse and worse and worse. And we get in Minneapolis, and when they're bringing it down, it's awful. Like, we had a couple with us.
Did you see lightning?
Oh, God, did I see lightning. It was all over there. It was popping left and right. We had a couple with us who had been in such a bad flight situation, they told each other their final goodbyes before.
Oh, my gosh.
Not on this flight, though.
No.
Oh.
But Lance, when I looked at them, they were nervous. And I'm like, my God, they have been in a flight where they told them their final goodbyes. They literally said their final goodbyes to one another thinking it was over. And they're on this flight and they're nervous. So I told Jennifer, I'm like, I called their name. I said, look, they're nervous. And she's like, oh, I've already seen that. I've noticed that they're nervous, Ryan.
But you've heard, if flight attendants get nervous, that's what's
they were buckled in the front of you couldn't see them anymore. They'd already buckled in. So, I mean, we're going in, and it's doing one of those numbers, and they call it lose its air. It would drop and then come back up, and lightning popping everywhere. And he drops down. I mean, like, it was a long time in the clouds. You know how you can see the ground? Like, once he finally got out of the clouds, we're almost on the ground. That's how bad the visibility was. And again, slams it down, and, I mean, hits the brakes, and you can feel it fishtailing and skidding. There's so much rain and all that on the... But I promise you, the guy gets it stopped, and I know this is normally annoying, but everybody clapped for the guy. Yeah. And, like, I was in there clapping for him, too.
Standing ovation.
But here's what I noticed. When everybody's exiting, pilot comes out of the cockpit to get his congratulations. And, like, everybody's stopping, like, man, thank you so much.
Shaking
Great
hands.
job. Yeah, 100% right.
Signing autographs.
Yeah, everybody's shaking his head. Hey, no problem.
Sully who?
No problem.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, when you're leaving Hayden, if they're slingshotting and a Hawk gets in that engine, is that a problem?
It's probably going, because then they got to turn
Kevin Willis in here.
That's a good draw. I thought you might go Spud well, but you went Kevin Willis.
Most muscular 7-footer in
Yeah,
history.
he was massive.
Everybody says I have a combination of David Robinson arms and Kevin Willis arms.
Rockstar, what is yours?
Mine's a short one. It was in 9th grade. I think we had a chance. Maybe been Memorial Day weekend. A friend wanted to go to their beach in Destin. They had a house and 4 friends. And they said, well, my dad knows a pilot. We can fly there. I was like, sweet. So we go to the Shelby County Airport. I don't know anything what's going on. I'm afraid of flying. We get in this teeny tiny plane where we all have to have headphones. And it's
like a helicopter, like you're wearing the headphones.
like
like
it's
a
noise
reducers, yeah.
And so we're sitting there and I'm sitting by my friend Jonathan. We're touching, and then my friend Tyler and Keith are facing us.
Were you
4
worried?
seats. Oh my God, it's 4 seats, but our knees are touching each other, just facing each other, like a conversation. And we take off, and I've never. I mean, it's and like Keith is like from the Joker movie. He's just dying out laughing the whole time because he's so uncomfortable. Like he's crying because he's laughing so hard. We can't hear anything. And like I remember we got to the beach, and I was like, told Tyler, I was like, is your mom here? He's like, yeah. I go, I'm riding back with her. I'm not flying.
Did you ride back?
Oh yeah, I was just me and his mom in their Suburban. I was like, I'm not flying back.
I don't blame you.
I wouldn't do that today. I don't know how the hell with what my prescriptioned ass got on that plane and thought this is gonna be all right.
How long was the flight?
However long it takes to get to Destin from
An
here.
hour.
An hour at the most.
But it felt like
But still.
a day.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Because I was on one of those to Atlanta, and it was terrible.
Oh my God.
I the first time I ever flew on a non-commercial, on a private, I got sick. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a smaller plane, if it was my seat or what. I got sick. The second time I did, I was fine. But and it was a small plane too.
Oh, with me, with my history too, when stuff like that happens, it goes directly to my stomach. And the problem is, like, I got no option. Like, we're on this teeny tiny plane. I got to just do my thing.
Did you?
No, but it's just
Oh.
like that's what's got in my head. It's like, oh my God! Usually when this stuff happens, I have a reaction, and I have nothing. I have nowhere to go.
You remember when Alabama opened up with Michigan and Dallas with
I do.
shoelace?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a buddy, Will Haver, was like, "Hey, look, I've got a friend that's got a plane. If you can get us the tickets." So Superior Girl had a box, and so I ended up getting us all tickets, and Jimmy Anthony went with us, but Reed was kind of like a late addition, and so I think it was a 6-seater. But there was an additional seat you could sit in the toilet. And so Reed rode in the toilet to Dallas. But here's the crazy thing. When we landed, obviously, how it was pressurized was different because his ear was bleeding.
Reed's ear was bleeding.
Yeah.
What ticket number are you? Mine says shitter.
He did. He sat on the shitter, and that was like an hour and a half flight.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, as we've discussed it, like when we went to LA this summer, we get on our first flight, Rockstar, out of Birmingham. First flight. It's Birmingham to Dallas, Dallas to LA. First flight. And a pregnant lady sits down next to me, and I'm like, this lady's going to throw up. I mean, like, she's super pregnant. And she sits down and the plane starts to take off. First thing she does is reach in there and pull out that air sickness bag. And I'm like, I've got another hour and a half next to her. If I hear her throw up,
You're going down too.
I'm going down too. I can't deal with that.
Did it happen?
Oh, of course it did. Now I could see like she starts to unroll it and pull it up, and I turn my body away. I mean, I'm not being rude.
Like Vince Vaughn, like, oh God,
Yeah,
I can't see her. I'll do it.
Yeah, I know. I will, and I turn my body away from her, and I've got my AirPods in, so I just hold them in as tight as I could, crank the volume up so I can't hear it, and we land. And God bless her, she apologizes to me. I was like, "You do not owe me an apology."
So she did throw up.
Oh yeah, she definitely threw up because then she, God bless her, she held the bag the rest of the way. Like she,
I was going to say,
she turned it down.
Does
And
the
held
stewardess not come and pick it up, or flight attendant not come and pick it up? Like,
Yeah.
I'll get rid of that for you.
The most pissed I've ever seen a stewardess, and I think you guys have heard the story. I don't know if you have.
This is
But
awful.
I was coming back from Los Angeles, and our flight was going to go from L.A. to New Orleans to Birmingham. And there was these 2 girls from Sacramento. We were boarding Southwest. It's general admission.
Yeah.
So I started up a conversation with these 2 girls. We ended up sitting together, and I had all these drink tickets. So we started doing tequila shots. They were going to spring break. So they were going to New Orleans to board a cruise.
Okay.
And so we're descending. We're coming down this honest to God story. I mean, it's completely packed flight. Well, the girls are piss hammered. I can't believe they continue to bring us shots of tequila. Well, one of the girls sprays the wall of the plane. I mean, there's throw up everywhere.
Oh, it's awful.
And the stewardess comes back. She gets all pissed at me, and I'm like, "You were the guys that kept serving us."
Why? It's not my fault.
But the
We've been
funniest
overserved.
was like I see them in the terminal after we deplane, and like she's basically got her friend,
In a
and they're just
wheelchair.
kind of limping and like shitting her hair and stuff. And they were just going to board a cruise for a week for spring break.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, they were going to the cruise from there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's going to be a
The
terrible.
way to kick it off. I mean, she was already puking, and it smelled so bad.
That's
God,
what.
I know
Yeah,
it
that's
did.
what. That's the first thing that I think about.
Yeah. Was that your second story?
No, but I don't. I don't want to tell my second story because it might freak her out.
That one might freak you out.
Yeah, it's worse than what he's already told.
What,
the 3 he's already
would
told.
you rather would you rather have somebody throw up on your flight or have a mechanical problem?
I know that one.
Probably
The throw up.
Yeah.
Throw up probably. The throw up does not end in my death.
Right.
The mechanical problem could.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, just abbreviation. I was going to a buddy's 50th in Cabo. Got held up in Denver. We talked about the Denver airport.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
always
yeah.
a delay.
Yeah, the Illuminati at the Denver airport.
Finally leave. We literally get an hour and a half into the journey to Cabo, and they come on and they're like, "Hey, we've got a problem with the landing gear. We're gonna have to go back to Denver." And so I'm panicked at this point because I'm an anxious flyer. So I go and I talk to the flight attendant. I was like, "Hey, what is this bad?" And she was like, "Was really nervous at first because this hasn't happened before."
Oh, good.
She was like, "But I think we're going to be fine with our emergency backup landing." And I was like, "Well, why can't we, like, if we're going to crash or land, why can't we do it in Cabo?"
If we're
Yeah.
going to roll the dice anyway.
Said
yeah.
the crew is really nervous because one of the hubs for, forgot what I was on, United maybe, wherever in Denver. She was like, "We've got mechanics that can work on it there. We don't in Cabo, so we could get stuck in Cabo." So anyway, we had to go back, and we were delayed again for a long time. It was a pain in the ass, but we made it. But I'll tell you, I've never been so happy to land when we landed that plane.
Yeah. That's okay. Mine is short. It was probably 7 years ago now, I guess. But I was in Florida for a soccer tournament. It was, I'm pretty sure, the middle of the summer. So it's obviously blazing hot. In our last game, I don't know what days it was, but I'm just going to say it was a Sunday. The tournament was ending and we were going home. But we had to check out of our hotel before our game that day. So we were playing a game in Florida in 95-degree heat, and we were going straight to the airport. Like, you couldn't.
Didn't you talk about how bad your
terrible.
cleats used to smell?
Yes.
Yes, and you're gonna be sticky.
Oh,
Yes.
soccer bags are
Yes.
awful. Those
Oh,
things
yeah.
smell like
Awful.
ass.
Like, it could kill a small animal.
Yeah.
And so we play our game, we change into like tennis shoes, but we're still disgusting. We go to the airport, and none of us checked bags. Like, they made us all have carry-ons.
Oh.
So my toiletry bag. So we're all disgusting. It is a team full of sweaty soccer players. And we're going through the security line, and my toiletry bag got flagged in the little thing. And then the zipper had broken. So they pull it out, and they were like, hey, and I don't know if we were late or not, but we were like rushed. So I'm holding up everything, because they were like, your zipper or your toiletry bag got flagged. And they were like, your zipper is broken. And I was like, I don't know what happened. Like, the thing fell off. I don't know what happened to it. I was like, you can just cut it. Like, we're trying to go, and we're holding up this whole line. Like, just cut it. And they're like, we cannot cut your bag. We need you to like get this open. And I was like, no, the thing that pulls the zipper is broken. Like, I can't get it open, and it is mine. I own it, and I'm giving you permission to cut it so I can leave. And they're like, we cannot cut it. What is in here? And I was like, probably a thing of toothpaste. Like, I don't know. No bomb or anything. It's just,
You've got the X-ray.
yes, just
You
like
tell
just
me.
cut the bag.
Yeah.
They would not do it. I don't even remember how that ended up getting resolved. I may have just left it. And so we get to the plane, we board, the AC isn't working.
Oh, and you're
So
already hot.
We're already hot. We're in Florida. We're in
Yeah.
the summer, and we all smell rancid. So we sit, and then it gets delayed because they're having to fix whatever's messed up. So
They've got like a pig cloud over them.
I felt bad. Well, I mean, a little bit for myself, because I was like, I feel nasty. But the people that paid
misery.
for tickets for
Yeah.
that flight were then trapped with 20 16-year-old girls.
Were
that
y'all
just,
getting looks?
I don't know. I wasn't looking around. I was probably hiding my face.
Imagine when you open the overhead with all those carry-ons, how bad it must have smelled.
It's cleats.
Oh.
It is a legitimate, like, sweaty, just plated
Little
cleats.
tea.
I was like, these poor people. We sat there for an hour plus, and I was like, these people are probably suffocating. But
Hey, well, have a good trip to London.
thanks.
After all that discussion, Little
Yeah.
T's about to board.
Big Ben, Parliament.
A very long flight.
Yeah.
Hey, McCurry brings you the Mystery Fifth Hour. Need a car, van, or truck rent from McCurry. McCurry Van and Car Rental, local rental company you can depend on. Trucks, SUVs, passenger vans in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, Tuscaloosa on Skyline Boulevard. They get you in and out fast. Here's the number, 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. Please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that and set your alerts so you know when we're live. And follow us on all social media at Next Round Live. Thank you for watching the Mystery Fifth Hour.